Based on the series so far, Atomic Habits, Crucial Conversations, and The Coaching Habit, the next book is Radical Candor by Kim Scott. The Coaching Habit taught you to ask better questions. Radical Candor teaches you to give honest feedback without being brutal or a pushover. A perfect next step, Radical Candor. Care personally, challenge directly. Hi, this is Rahul, and you are watching Books I Read, where I share books that help us lead better at work, in the kitchen, in business, and at home. Today's book is Radical Candor by Kim Scott. She spent years leading teams at some of the world's most well-known technology companies, and then wrote this book to answer one of the hardest questions in leadership. How do you tell someone the truth, the real truth, without destroying the relationship? Why this book works in India. In India, giving direct feedback to someone, especially someone senior to you or someone you genuinely like, feels almost rude. We soften everything. We say, it was mostly good, just a few small things. We pull people aside, whisper our concerns, or worse, we say nothing at all and simply hope the problem fixes itself. And on the other side, some leaders go too far in the other direction. They shout, they humiliate, they call people out in front of the whole team, and they call it honesty. Radical Candor says both of these are wrong. There is a third way. You can care deeply about a person and still tell them a hard truth directly. In fact, you can only tell them the hard truth because you care deeply. That is the entire idea of this book. What is Radical Candor? The author builds the entire framework on two axes. The first axis is care personally. This means you genuinely give a damn about the person in front of you, not just their output or their performance score, but them as a human being. The second axis is challenge directly. This means you are willing to say the difficult thing clearly and specifically, even when it is uncomfortable. Radical Candor sits in the top right corner. High on both. You care personally and you challenge directly at the same time. But most of us do not live there. Most of us fall into one of three failure zones, and the author names each one very precisely. Failure Zone 1, Ruinous Empathy. This is the most common failure mode, especially in India. You care about the person so much that you cannot bring yourself to say anything that might upset them. So you give vague feedback. You say, overall it was fine, just keep improving. You avoid the real conversation entirely. The result? The person never grows. The problem continues. And 6 months later, you are either frustrated enough to let them go, or you are still tolerating the same issue and wondering why the team is not improving. Here is an Indian example. Your star server has been rude to guests for weeks. You have noticed it. A few guests have mentioned it. But he is hardworking, he has been with you a long time, and you do not want to hurt his feelings. So you say nothing. Meanwhile, 3 guests have quietly stopped coming back. That silence did not protect him. It failed him. Ruinous empathy feels kind in the moment, but it is actually a form of selfishness. You are protecting your own discomfort, not the other person's future. Failure Zone 2, Obnoxious Aggression. This is the leader who is direct but brutal. They challenge people publicly, use sharp words, and justify it by saying, I am just being honest. I have no time for feelings in a kitchen. The problem is that people shut down under this kind of leadership. They stop bringing problems forward. They stop admitting mistakes. They do exactly what they are told and nothing more, because nothing they ever do is acknowledged, only criticized. This is not honesty. It is aggression wearing the mask of honesty. Failure Zone 3, Manipulative Insincerity. This is the worst of all 4 quadrants. You do not care about the person, and you do not actually challenge them either. You give fake praise. You nod along in meetings and then complain about the same people behind their backs. You say whatever keeps the peace in the room, and none of it is real. People always sense this, even if they cannot name it, and the moment trust is gone, your team starts performing for appearances, not for results. The tool: how to actually give radically candid feedback. The author gives a very simple structure for giving feedback that is honest and human at the same time. It has 4 parts. Part 1, Be specific. Do not say your attitude needs improvement. Say, in this morning's briefing, when the junior staff asked a question, you rolled your eyes. I saw two of them notice it. That specific behavior is what we need to talk about. Part 2. Make it about the work, not the person's character. Do not say, you are careless. Say, the prep sheet was incomplete 3 times this week. The distinction matters because one attacks who they are and the other describes what they did, which is something they can actually change. Part 3. Do it in private for criticism, in public for praise. The opposite of what most leaders do. Most leaders praise privately because it feels awkward to be emotional in front of others, and they criticize publicly because they want to make an example. The author says this is exactly backwards. Private praise feels less real. Public humiliation destroys trust and culture. Part 4. Do it immediately. Feedback loses power with every passing day. If you wait until the quarterly review to tell someone they have been consistently late to briefings, you have wasted 3 months of their growth. Say it the same day, say it the same shift if you can. Radical Candor. Example 1. Feedback to a team member on service quality. You notice a waiter is rushing guests through their meal during a busy Saturday service. After the shift, you pull him aside. You say, during the 8 o'clock service, I noticed you cleared the main course from table 7 before the couple had finished. They were still eating. I could see one of them looked uncomfortable. I know Saturday nights are intense and you are managing 12 covers, but that table was with us for a special occasion. When we rush a guest like that, we lose them for good. What was going on at that point in the service? You are specific, you are caring, you are direct, and you end with a question, not an accusation. Radical Candor. Example 2. Feedback to a senior chef whose temper is affecting the team. You say, Chef, I want to talk about something I have been sitting with for a few weeks because I genuinely want us to fix this together. 3 times in the last month, I have seen junior team members visibly shaken after being called out loudly in the open kitchen during service. I know standards matter to you, they matter to me too. But I am seeing people hesitate to speak up during rush hour, which is the worst possible time for communication to break down. I want to work with you on a way to hold the standard without the team going into shutdown mode. Can we think through this together? That is not soft. That is not aggressive. That is radical candor. Radical candor. Example 3. Giving honest feedback upward to your own manager or owner. This is the hardest one for most Indian professionals. But the author is clear. Radical candor works in all directions, not just downward. You say, I want to share something because I think it matters for the business, and I would rather say it directly than let it sit. When targets change mid-month without a conversation with the team, I notice morale drops sharply in that first week. People feel like the goalposts are moving. I am not saying we should not change targets. Sometimes we have to. But if we could communicate the reason along with the change, I think the team would absorb it very differently. Can I share a suggestion on how we might handle this next time? That is respectful of hierarchy, and it is completely honest. Both things can be true at the same time. How to build the habit of radical candor. The author gives a simple daily practice. At the end of each day, ask yourself 2 questions. Did I say something honest today that I was tempted to leave unsaid? Did I say something harsh today that I could have said with more care? One question keeps you from drifting into ruinous empathy. The other keeps you from drifting into obnoxious aggression. Together, they keep you in the zone where real leadership happens. How to start using this book this week? First, identify one piece of feedback you have been avoiding giving. Write down exactly what you would say if you had to be honest. Make it specific. Make it about the work. Then go have that conversation this week, not next month, this week. Second, give one piece of public praise. In your next team briefing, call out one person by name for something specific they did well, not just good job. Say exactly what they did and exactly why it mattered. Watch how the room responds. Third, ask for feedback on yourself. At the end of your next one on one, ask your team member, is there anything I do that makes your job harder than it needs to be? Then listen without defending yourself. This single act builds more trust than any leadership speech ever will. Who should read this? Pick up Radical Candor. If you lead a team and often find yourself giving vague feedback because you do not want to hurt feelings, or if you have been told you are too harsh and people are scared to approach you, if you work in a culture, whether family business, hospitality, or corporate, where honest conversations get avoided to preserve peace. If you have ever held back a truth for so long that it came out badly when it finally came out. And if you want a simple framework you can actually remember and use in your next conversation, not just a philosophy to think about. My quick rating for books I read: Practical Tools, 5 out of 5. The 2-axis framework and the 4-part feedback structure are simple, memorable, and immediately usable. Storytelling and examples, 5 out of 5. The author writes from real experience, and the stories are honest, funny in places, and very human. India relevance, 5 out of 5. This book might actually be more important in the Indian context than anywhere else, because both failure modes, ruinous empathy, and obnoxious aggression are things we see every single day in Indian workplaces. Reread value, 5 out of 5. Revisit this before any performance review, any difficult conversation with a long-standing team member, or any time you are tempted to stay quiet about something you know needs to be said. If this episode of Books I Read on Radical Candor helped you, do like, share, and subscribe, and send it to one person on your team who either needs to hear honest feedback or needs to get better at giving it. Both of you will grow from reading this book. Tell me in the comments, which failure zone do you think you fall into most often? Ruinous empathy, where you stay quiet to protect feelings? Or obnoxious aggression, where you are direct but it sometimes lands too hard? Be honest. The comments are a safe space. Drop your book recommendations too, especially anything around leadership, feedback culture, and building strong teams in the business of food.